When you hear about reciprocal tariffs from the American perspective, what does it mean for you, considering your company is now also foraying into semiconductors?
See, of course, the importance of semiconductor was very much realized during the pandemic time.
Yes.
When the whole world was completely shifting to the technology, schools working from home, the jobs happening from home, the need for your display fabs, your mobile phones, your tablets, your laptops, everything was short in short supply. And it's not just India, the countries around the world focused on their semiconductor policy. It's not just that India alone set up an India semiconductor mission. There are many countries who actually established their specific semiconductor missions, making a push for the semiconductor policy of their country so that they can support the increasing demand for the electronics and technology for the country. So there could certainly be tariff pushes that will come up from the US and other countries. But I think more than reciprocal, the government has to work towards the bilateral tariff system with the countries, and that because it's not that everything either India could manufacture or China can manufacture or any other country can manufacture. It is, it's a global village today. We all talk about global village. Unless we all work together with bilateral tariffs, bilateral systems, that will be very, very important for the success of manufacturing.
Which is why the next few weeks become so crucial from the perspective of the manufacturing sector in India and the world. Dr. Khorakiwala, when you hear about reciprocal tariffs, what is your response? Are you worried or are you not?
See, our industry, pharmaceutical, basically to make a change in formulation, for example, takes roughly 3 to 5 years. So from that context, there is, unlike steel or cement, you can switch suppliers at a day's notice. You can't do this in our industry. So the view I have is short term. Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
Okay.
But long term, one doesn't know what happens after 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. No, let me repeat that. This is interesting. Any tariffs that are imposed on Indian companies will impact American consumers, not Indian companies, because we'll just pass it on.
That's right.
Yeah. So this is an interesting perspective. I suppose, Dipali ji, the concern is that does it make us less competitive? Because if it's reciprocal tariffs, then from that perspective, we are seeming higher.
So first of all, I think let's keep the tariffs aside, but let's talk about India in a position for me as a textile hub or the manufacturing hub. I think the world needs India, and as we're speaking about Viksit Bharat, I think India has been put on the world map and is being spoken about in all the boardrooms across the globe of all the countries for being an integral part of that supply chain. Mm-hmm. So for when we talk about America, I think, and when I talk about Welspun as a company, as an organization, I mean the complete integrated supply chain, one of the biggest manufacturing factories or company this side of the world, apart from China, creating the entire supply chain and the serviceability for all the retailers globally, and having more than 42 patents in home textile. Wow. I think I can just tell you one thing, that while we talk about the tariffs, I think, first of all, I think it's going to be more bilateral, because I think when we're talking about two countries, they've already come to a conversation where they're going to be talking about growth in both the countries, and it's going to be beneficial to both the countries. So I think for me, I'm more positive about it. To Mr. Khorakiwala, when he talked about it'll be passed on to the consumer, for us in home textiles, it is a very small part of that wallet share where, we are that towel or a sheet or that rug that they use, and it is very, very sensitive.
Yeah,
so I think it will be something that we will have to work mutually. But however, coming to the tariffs, I think for India and US, both of them need each other. And I think the bilateral trade will be something that will be where we will be talking about more than anything else.